So it's Salzburg who sit top with 5 points, Chelsea and AC Milan on 4, Dinamo Zagreb on 3. So it's still wide open, but it's certainly looking a lot better for Chelsea. Before we go to the break, let me just remind
Manchester City, as you can see, top it quite comfortably. They are 9 points at the top of the table, 3 clear of Dortmund, with Sevilla and Copenhagen level on a point. So if Manchester City win next week in the reverse fixture against Copenhagen, they will secure qualification to the knockout stages. You know, a point might do it as well if other results go their way. Well, there is of how tonight looked in the Champions League. Well, I'll pick out a couple for you. Real Madrid, they relinquished top spot in La Liga at the weekend to Barcelona, but they haven't done so in Group F with that 2-1 win over Shakhtar. And if we look to Group H, Paris Saint-Germain drew with Benfica. Messi scored an absolute top-class goal, but Benfica equalised, so it was shared points in the end. And Juventus, well, they've been really struggling this season in the Champions League, and it was a good win for them over Maccabi.
warning signs. He did neither of them, and Chelsea scored with the third.
Yeah, and they'll be kicking themselves because up to that point they were the better team. They started the game, they got into a groove straight away. But there's 3 set pieces, 3 corners, and the second 2 were identical. But this one, Thiago Silva, all 3, they fall on his head, unmarked. They do zonal marking here, where they don't mark him at all at any points of this. See that one there? Watch the next one after this. It's exactly the same position. If you see this happening after 1 time, let alone 2, you get someone around that area, around him, to put a bit of pressure on. And after that, then it's a bit of a melee and they score.
Yeah, I mean, you can commit to zonal marking, but you still got to give the players licence to understand. On the second occasion, when Thiago Silva has a free header, somebody, at least one of the blockers, go and get on him. But they was all over the place at this point, Milan, and it's cost them because they was in the ascendancy at this point in the game.
There were consecutive corners separated by about a minute and a half. I mentioned for Wesley Fofana, we saw him get the goal there, then he trudged off, and you saw his face as he went, and you said, I think he knows that's a bad one after all his issues.
It's an injury he's had before, so he probably knows if something's not right. And even when he went in with Leao, you could tell that his knee sort of didn't look right. It buckled. You just hope it's not too serious. It's not sort of a long-term one. But then he looked like he tried to play on, and it wasn't right.
Okay. Well, after the game, as soon as we get any news on the injury, we'll bring it to you. Let's talk about one man for Milan who's looked fantastic. Every time he gets the ball, he has one plan and one plan only, and you can't stop him.
Yeah, the noises coming out of Rio Ferdinand, that was so inappropriate when he picked out the ball. The excitement levels were just, I've not heard it.
Rafael Leao.
No, but he's got just sometimes he's audacious. This was a great pass from Tonali first and foremost. But again, this situation here, one thought in his mind: get to the danger area, commit people, strength, pace, guile, skills, unpredictable, close control. He's got it all in there. Just the end product you're looking for at times.
But you see there, Rio, that is 2v1 there. Yeah. James and Sterling have both doubled up. That's as a result of him going 1v1. Every 1v1 moment so far in the game, he's taken a player on. So even at 2v1, he's still getting past. It's such an exciting player.
He's got no respect for any reputation.
No.
And what do you prefer from Rio? The proper analysis or the yelps and the squeaks and the shouts when he's watching it?
A mix and blend of the both would be great for BT Sport, let me tell you.
We need to record it somehow. Right, we're going to take a break. When we come back, the second half here at Stamford Bridge, as Chelsea look to drive home what would be Graham Potter's first win in the Champions League, a win they need as well. Of course, next week they go to the San Siro, so to get a home victory at this stage in this competition would be huge for him and his players. The second half will be straight after the break.
Legends.
Well, they got the good pundits, that channel, didn't they?
The best looking ones are in here, though. Don't worry about that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. No, we have to be careful not to get carried away, I think. It's a good win. It's on the back of another win. But it's still early days for Graham Potter. And, he's still working out exactly what he's got at his disposal here, isn't he?
Yeah, of course. It is early days and it is about taking it game by game. Obviously, we spoke about, how tactically flexible it is. The players will still be figuring out, when in game they're going to change, when they're going to stay the same. Going back to the point on English players, what I love about it is the English players are the difference. The guys like Reece James, Conor Gallagher coming in, Mason Mount today, Ruben Loftus-Cheek. These guys are actually the difference in this team. And it seems like a continuation of, what I think Tuchel tried to do as well with young players, Frank Lampard before that with some of the English players. So I think there's an identity that needs to happen for Chelsea, but it's early days. But these are good signs. It's a good win tonight.
Absolutely, and it's an evening actually that totally changes the way the group looks from a Chelsea perspective. They came into this evening bottom of the group. We said if they lost this one, it really would be a hard slog for them between now and qualifying for the knockout stages. However,
And it was also a brilliant win, wasn't it, for Manchester City tonight. As Owen just said before, it's becoming routine. And yes, I can see the shocked look on all your faces. Just look at those stats, Owen.
Wow, 30 shots.
I know, incredible, isn't it?
Crazy. I mean, possession we're used to, but 30 shots, even for City, that seems a lot.
Yeah, I think, there's players in there that obviously haven't played as much, are desperate to score. You could see it on Grealish's face. You could see it on Alvarez's face. They all want goals. But those stats are just ridiculous. It's what we expect, though.
Yeah, because when you're saying that about Jack, I don't think he was forcing any issue.
No.
I don't think he was forcing shots when there weren't none.
He was actually kind of unselfish in some moments, wasn't he?
I think the decision-making of all the forward players was spot on. At any given time, they was taking opportunities when they were there, but they weren't forcing issues. So to get them numbers is crazy.
And we'll look at the goals shortly, but actually what we didn't pick out in our pre-show, because there's so much to talk about, was that midfield. Gundogan impressed you once again, didn't he?
Yeah, I mean, I was so impressed with him in the Manchester derby. He played at the base of midfield. Everybody thought Rodri would be a huge miss.
They thought it could be a potential weakness in the team.
Well, he ran the game, Seema, and he's one of the smartest, most underrated players, I think, in the Premier League. Everybody loves him. He's the captain for a reason. And again today, I thought he put on a masterclass, and he makes the game, Julian, look so easy.
Yeah, I've heard Pep speak about him and his level of IQ, football IQ is remarkable, and being able to play multiple positions and have a crazy impact. 2 seasons ago he was top goal scorer, and then he's played obviously as a defensive midfielder on Sunday and was remarkable as well.
Do you know what I want to get into? This conversation about Erling Haaland. Look, he bagged a brace, didn't he? And then he was subbed just before the second half. So he was on course for a hat-trick. Crouchy, did that surprise you? Did that decision by Pep Guardiola surprise you?
Do you know what Julian called it? He said he's coming off. We were disappointed, weren't we? We were like, it's what we've come for. We want to see Erling Haaland get another hat-trick, do things that we've never seen before. But we have to say, Cole Palmer came on for him and played fantastically well. He was a joy to watch. But can't sit here and say I didn't want Erling Haaland to get a hat-trick.
Yeah, from a striker's point of view, you're talking about when that happened to you in regards to being
exactly.
on 2 goals.
It did happen to me. I asked Rafa Benitez to keep me on. He took me off straight up.